All right, my lovey. This is Christina McKinney with Karma's Eye Psychic LLC here on Universal Spirit Podcast. I have a guest joining me today by the name of Aradia Arcanum. Aradia, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes. First, thank you for having me. I am, as you said, Aradia Arcanum, also known as the Witch of Darklight on all social platforms. Do you want me to give a little history about myself?
Yes, please. I love that name, Darklight. I love it.
Oh, thank you. So, with like most witches or people that have come crossed over to the dark side, if you will. I grew up in Christianity and took that long journey and long road to, discovering my path and who I was, because I had to unlearn everything and relearn who I really was. So I joined a coven. I went through so many different classes. I wanted to soak it all in.
So what age was this?
At the age that I was in the coven, this was about, I went through a lot of my life, but when I left the church, because I went through this whole process of really, because when I get into something, I dive deep into it. So I was really heavily into church, right? So when I left, I had to be trying to do the recall now of my ages. I was in my latter, I want to say mid-20s.
Okay.
Almost latter 20s. But then when I left that, during that time, I had to realize it was something had broken in my life and I had to learn how to fix it. So I went through trying to see what it was that I wanted to, who I was. So then around my mid-30s, I tried a couple of things, but around my mid-30s, I decided that, more towards latter 30s, but I tried searching out anything witchy. So I had finally ran into this coven, and so I spent a few years in the coven, and then I realized it was a Wiccan coven. So then I realized I wanted a little something different. So I'm still friends with them till this day because we didn't depart any, bad terms. Okay. But I decided that I wanted a different path. So from that, and while in a coven and after that, I was learning astrology. I took courses on herbs. I became a Reiki master. I learned all types of hitting work, tuning forks, because I just wanted to soak it in. You know what? I felt like I was being at the age that I was at that point, I felt like I was against the clock, right? So I wanted to soak up everything. And after coming out of the coven, I then looked for, as they say, the more darker side of things, because my name is Darklight, the Witch of Darklight. So I needed to understand the polarities and all aspects of these things. So and now till today, but I went into the community of witches, vampires, werewolves, and all of these things. So it helped me to tap into the darker side, which helped me in shadow work, which was, a lot of shadow work. But so when you fast forward with all of that information and all of those things I have obtained over the years, it has brought me to a place right now that I want to share all of that, package it and share it to the world in the form of helping others understand their personal alchemy and what that looks like in everything that they do. So that is what I preach on social media and all my platforms. So that's where I am today.
So for our audience, could we ask, what is your zodiac sign?
My sun is Libra.
Oh,
You want to know the other two? Oh,
yes,
just the
yes,
sun.
yes, of
Okay.
course.
My sun is Libra, my rising is Taurus, and my moon is Leo.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess that would make sense, you being a Libra, the dark and the light, right? So I guess, the balance of the scales, keeping everything, in order, so to
Yeah,
speak, just having that natural flow of balance and justice and peace and calm and just the
absolutely.
polarities of the universe. So it's like it's already in you.
Right.
Just being born a Libra, you're telling me that you're an astrology expert, and all my viewers know I love astrology. That's like my favorite. But I mean, because I happen to be a Libra moon, I think that's why this is happening between us right now,
Oh,
right?
wow.
You know
Yeah.
how it is. Any type of Libra placements is like it's like chatty, 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 and something shiny, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You
I
have
tell
to, right?
everybody if you're talking to me, I might go squirrel.
As soon as something shiny goes by, I don't care what's happening. I have to look
Right.
and just figure out what it is.
Right.
So you said you were raised Christian, and then now you find yourself, being more spiritual. Do you feel like that helped you find your path, or did you feel like, I know you said you felt like you were against the clock, but the real purpose of this talk is really just to get out there, to give a perspective of a lot of people and how they found their path and why they're still on it, why they're still dedicated to it. And I just wanted to know if being raised Christian either helped you or maybe felt like it was like a stumbling block.
I'm gonna say it did help me, but in many ways it crippled me because, and I'm not gonna say that it's Christianity. I'm gonna say it is the people that preach it.
The people, okay.
Because at this level I'm at now, there's mystical Christianity, esoteric Christianity
Mm-hmm.
that's out there that's very powerful. So for me, my belief is more of how it was taught to me. So it developed such a fear. I can remember growing up reading Revelations, like, oh my gosh, it developed such a fear in me that it crippled me, to make any move. Like I couldn't make any move without being scared that I was like going to hell, So that is the main way that it, I that it crippled me. But the good, I'm gonna say there was a lot of good because it taught me faith. So the part where I was naturally intuitive, I would find myself as a little kid seeing like the bullies in the park. So I would immediately begin to like call like Jesus or spirit or whoever to help me, like make me blind, not me blind, make them blind that they can't see me. And I'll just walk through or whatever. So I began to develop this understanding of speaking to spirit and understanding that there's a presence there that's listening and helping and guiding me. So that developed in me. So that part of Christianity or growing up in the way that I did definitely stuck and helped me today with all the stuff that I'm into now.
Because what I'm hearing too as well, you're putting together a really extravagant way of, having like this different perspective where it's like now there are different fears, right? Like your fear of going to hell that's no longer a fear. Now I guess what would your fear be now? Like fear of not staying the path, because for it to be such, 180, obviously a fear has to be, completely different now.
Most definitely. And for that fear dissipated over time. It took a while.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I would say my fear is not being free and not being able to express that. So I understand now that there's no one stopping me but myself. So now I'm accountable, right? I'm the one
Right.
that has to make sure that I'm living this free life, my best magical life, and it's up to me. So that's where my fear sets in, that I'll allow those things to hinder me, whatever those hangups are, to hinder me from, as a Libra, we want to be free. And I have my Aquarius North Node. So I'm like, don't put me in a box. But then I have to make sure that I'm not putting my own self in a box. So that is honestly my greatest fear. Whenever I find myself in a corner or in a predicament or in a space where I feel like it's hindering my freedom, I let it go,
Well, you just touched on something that I've been hearing a lot lately, in regards to people in their spiritual path, when you talked about accountability and then putting yourself back into a box, because I believe it would be fair to say that a lot of people who come out of organized religion, not just Christianity, that once they consider themselves to be free, they kind of like develop this awareness that the organized religion gave them some type of cognitive dissonance, right? Where it's kind of like they were so, attached to that belief system that they allowed it to put them in a box. So now that you're free, it's kind of like you don't want to be the one that then puts yourself in the box. Where like, am I still conditioned to put myself in some type of box or some type of label? Because I don't feel that you have, like a definitive label. Like you really are expressing that, your gifts, your interests, and, the things that you are still wanting to learn or do, to be very fluid, to be very eclectic, and to be very, like you said, you want to be free. And you can't, like you've expressed that you can't even get to the point where you are right now without being free. So I just found that very interesting, how that is something that people, they say it, but they don't really go that deep into it. And that's literally what I got out of that 30-second, like what you said. Like I can feel a lot, like your energy is so like amazing. It's very like, it's deep. Okay. Like that's why I felt like such a strong pull to speak with you. I know you have a lot, like you have a lot to teach, like you have a lot to give to the world. And that's what you said. That's what your purpose really is. Like you really just want to get, what you've learned out to the world. Because we are experiencing, recently in this age of Aquarius, that we're experiencing a lot of people who are basically taking off, I guess, what you would call their sheep's clothing, but they're not all wolves. I just feel like, we've been conditioned to wear this sheep costume, right, to fit in with everyone else. And nowadays, at least the last 2 years or so, people have just been slowly slipping it off and just like, I don't need to wear this. Like, I don't need to be at work from 9 to 5. I don't need to be doing this. I don't need to be in this relationship, and I feel you have something, or you definitely have something to bring to the table of that discussion of seeing this global awakening. Like, I want to know, like, how you feel about it, how your beliefs fit in. Do they fit in? I know these are loaded questions, but I know you can answer them. But since we are seeing so much of this, liberation, like I want you to like give me some foreshadowing of your experience of liberation that you could see with the collective now.
Well, one of the reasons why I am big on sharing that it is important to know your personal alchemy is because, like I was saying, I came out of that bondage, but bondage didn't go away, right? I had to learn to be free. So when we talk about, I like taking it back to astrology, right? Mm-hmm. So like I said, my Aquarius is, my North Node is in Aquarius. So that would make my, my South Node is in Leo. So we're more comfortable with our South Node because this is what we came into this world with, having that knowledge. So in my past lives, for all who subscribe to that idea, in my past lives, I came into this world already having, like, I must have been somebody on stage, and or I must have been like this princess or whatever, the light was shined on me. But now I have to learn that it's not about me, that it's about the collective. And I have to take all of what I learned through my past lives and let it be for the collective. So when someone, and that is my biggest thing now, when everybody comes out of, when their eyes have opened and when they have these awakenings, I feel like it is important. That's like a pivotal moment. It's important for you to realize that you have to figure out the right way. Don't go back into, because I went into Wicca, right? Because that's the next step from Christianity for me. That was
I know,
like,
and they're so closely related.
it is. So I was like, it was like easing, it was good. It was like a buffer. It eased me out. So, but you have to, when you awaken, you have to really, there's steps to awakening, right? You can't just say I'm free, because then it'll take away from all of the trauma that you still have there. It's still there. That's not going to go away because you see what it is, or you have awakened. So you really have to understand all those parts about yourself. You have to understand your south node, right? You can't just understand your north node, your purpose now. You have to understand all the baggage and the karma that that came with it. So that's my biggest thing. Everybody's saying, oh, we're awakening, this is the new age. Yes, that's fine and good, but you still have to understand all sides of the picture, the dark, the light, merge the history with, bring it forward to the modern time now, and learn how that works, best for you. And don't awaken to put yourself back into the box.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. Okay. So side note though, because I've had this argument for years, and yes, it involves astrology. Okay. So, so most of the Christian church, most of the denominations, most of the conservative people in Christianity, they will completely reject astrology, right? When it's clear in not only in the mundane Bible, but also in like the lost books of the Bible, they make many references. Even in the Jesus story, they make references to astrology to find Jesus, right? So I find it fairly interesting how the Christian church has rejected astrology altogether, but they have no problem including it in this one or two, three stories. Like, oh, well, that was just for the astrologers. That's not for regular people. And I'm just kind of like, well, I mean, if you can believe, like, I'm just going to ask you, like, if you can believe that God created, right, or universe, whoever created all of these universes and galaxies and planets, wouldn't you find it to be relevant? Like, wouldn't you find their existence to be just as relevant as the cows he created? Like, I'm so thrown as to why astrology is really just kind of like crumble like a cracker, and it's just like tossed in the trash. It's kind of like, yeah, he invented the planets, but that's not for us. I mean, like, what? Who are they for then?
I think in having that conversation with my mother as a pastor, and she's just now finishing up. I think she finished up schooling. So and it was like already like a Pentecostal university, so there's really truly no freedom in learning history there still. But I had that conversation with her about astrology, and her biggest, I think their biggest thing is they're so in so much in fear that they don't even want to say, yeah, I can see how this is right. So she told me, she said, you know what? As long as you put God first, as long as you know that it's God that's, doing these things, or, so that was like the biggest thing is make sure before you do anything that you know that this is the source of where it's coming from. So it's hard for them to see, and I'm speaking from experience because I couldn't see a lot of things when I was a
Right.
Christian. I was
Right.
blind, and stuff literally was written right in front of me, right, black and white on paper in my face. It wasn't until I opened my eye, came out of it, read it again, and was like, "Oh my goodness, this was here all the time."
Right.
No, so it's like it starts with, he created the heavens and the stars, the greater and the lesser lights, as they call it. It starts out with astrology. So,
Exactly. Right. So I just wanted to throw that side note in, from from an astrology expert. I was just like, I just want to know,
Aw.
is it me that it just sounds a little ridiculous? Like, I know that's like a personal, attack, but it's kind of like, is it just me? Like,
No, it's not
because
just
believe it or
they're
not,
blind. It's blind.
they're still up there. I mean, Jupiter and Neptune, and they're still up there, and they're gonna still be up there. Shouldn't we talk about them at some point?
Yeah,
Like
even the
they're the
science
ones.
behind it, right?
Yeah,
There's
yes,
science
because I'm
behind
just
it.
kind of like they're even just the science of a planet and its conditions, and its weather and its rotations and the things that it affects. And for all we know, like it affects other planets. For all we know, when Mercury goes retrograde, maybe it affects Uranus at some point. I don't know. Like we're not even there yet, but like, why don't we talk about it?
Right.
Right. And I feel like even in this awakening, like this, like, do you feel this is like the perfect time to start those conversations for us to really go deeper into things that we are not going deep enough into? Like, I feel as though this awakening has a lot to do with us just being done with the mundane stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, like, I feel like this is going to be done. Like, I know astrology is an acquired taste. However, though, I'm asking, do you find that it is a beneficial conversation to have in order for us to see where we could be going, just as a society or as a species, really? Like,
Well, since let's go Christianity, right? You know that saying where they have "Don't cast your pearls before swine," um, and not calling anybody swine, but
no, I'm following.
right. So I find now with so many like new agers and these people that are young, awakening, even older people just now awakening. Um, it's a bit difficult because we're in this, I call it the microwave age, right? Everything is quick, everything is fast. So I feel like too much knowledge for them is going to like fall on deaf ears, because I'm having to working with people and mentoring the people I'm having to always fall back on saying, make sure you have patience. This is a foundation you have to get in to yourself, build it first, then you can do this. But because they have been awakened, it's like they see the prize already, so they know it's there, they know it's available. So all they want to do is grab it, when it's, you can't just do that, because there's just like ripping off a band-aid too early, or it's just, you have to have, I'm finding a lot of people don't have the patience now, and just because you can see it doesn't mean it is available for you at that moment, in that space, and that time. It's a process. It's a process. That's my, if I don't leave anything, if anybody that's listening doesn't hear anything else that I say, it's a process is the thing that everyone needs to understand in this day and age.
Now, I have a question. Now, do you believe in reincarnation in any way?
Oh, absolutely. I do.
So,
I
do
can.
you feel? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right.
No, I was saying, so do you feel like maybe people who might have awakened in their older age might and then, universally be reincarnated to, I guess, experience what I guess the opposite of what they've been taught? I know it's like a crazy idea, right? Because I'm full of sci-fi ideas in this little brain of mine. But I mean, if, you know, someone in their old age is like, oh my goodness, I lived my entire life and I just lived this way and this is actually the truth and this actually makes more sense and this is what's really actually happening, and I've, you know, already spent, you know, all of my life going in the wrong way, or not wrong way, but the opposite direction. Do you feel like universally that person being reincarnated, or maybe that's like the purpose of reincarnation? You know, like, I know it sounds like a seventh grade question, but
Well, I can give you an example in personal experience. Someone that felt like she was in someone else's body, that the person that was in that body had died and she walked into the body. I forget what they have terminology for it. I forget what it's called. But she then stepped into this body. So it's like this physical body is available and this person is like, I want to end my contract here in this world. So that leaves room for someone else to take on this body. So she felt like this is what she was, and
okay.
it felt the same exact way that you're saying. Like she all of a sudden woke up and she saw the life she was living like it wasn't her own life, and she had to turn everything around and live how she felt like she should have been living. So I've actually met someone that experienced that exact thing.
Okay. Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so it's not a stupid question or a seventh grade question, because there's actually people out here that are at least saying this is the experience that they have.
Okay. Okay. Because I just always have, like, you know, kind of like, you know, a sympathetic heart where I'm just kind of like, well, what if they just was taught, you know, this way and they have a choice and now they're just so set in their ways and, you know, it's just not, you know, what's really going to lead them to, you know, where we would assume to be, you know, the higher self or the higher path, right? Or the highest dimension possible for our greater good, right? Whether
Yeah.
it all comes with roses or not. I've also been meaning to ask you if you have had, you know, any publications, you know, do you teach classes?
I do not have any publications, but stay tuned.
Are
um,
you working on something?
I it's in the as they say, zeitgeist. It's in the head right now, but
Okay.
I've been thinking about it. I am currently this I'm working on a course that I've held back to come out after the solar eclipse is over with, and it's called the Practical Magic Witchcraft course.
Ooh.
And I'm just mentoring people over on my Patreon, which I find is a lot of fun because, you know, when you do YouTube videos and you go, you know, and you don't have to do it a visual approach, but you know, that's what I do. So you have to get ready, prepared. But over on Patreon, I'm like down, you know, I'm like, let my hair down and be, you know, really personal with my patrons, and they get to ask me questions that they can't ask online. You know, they really need help, and you know, it's like I really feel fulfilled helping them. So those are the places where I'm really active. You know, I have my website where I also do readings. I just started back doing readings, and I approach it with the astrology, not your basic natal chart reading, but I
Okay.
approach it with giving the information that shows your personal alchemy and how you can apply it,
Oh.
spirituality in your life.
Oh, that's great. That's different. That's definitely different. I love how when a reading can empower people, right?
Yeah.
You're not just giving out outcomes. You're kind of just like, hey, there's like a million outcomes inside of you, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. That's amazing. So for our listeners, could you tell us where we can find you on social media?
I am all over the place as the Witch of Darklight. Everywhere, you can find me everywhere as the Witch of Darklight.
Witchofdarklight.com.
Yes.
Okay.
thewitchofdarklight.com, on YouTube as the Witch of Darklight. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest. I'm not active on Twitter, although I am over there, but I'm not pretty active over there. But yes, Instagram, all those places at the Witch of Darklight. And yeah, I'm very active on my website as well. I'm always posting a blog. The last blog I just did was about the solar eclipse. So I have a lot of juicy stuff over there, and I have like a little library. That's one of my purposes for having a website is also to have like a library where people can go to and say, you know what, I want to learn, find out about maybe this witchy tool. So I'm building like a library of things, all things witchy, all things occult. Yeah, so I'm wishing for my website to be like this. Won't be the Library of Alexandria, but it'll be.
No, I'm pretty sure it's going to be great. But have you ever thought about opening up a shop?
I have. I think about it all the time, actually. If I've ever have the opportunity, it's in there with that book I want to write. So it's like I'm always thinking about it.
I got you.
You know, so maybe one day, but I think about it all the time.
Okay, so I just have about two more questions left. So when we were talking about, inching up toward, the more people are waking up now, and that, people, like you are going to definitely be a source of comfort, obviously, right? And definitely a source of information. Do you feel like the things that are happening now with the economy and, things with attacking, certain social groups is like a way of trying to, like, I wouldn't call them elites, but you know what I mean? Like the people who are in charge are trying to possibly lower our vibration back down to submission, so to speak. Because I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, right? But I know vibrations for sure. So I feel like once everyone starts waking up, and then all of a sudden we got to start worrying about the price of milk, it kind of drains the vibration again, and like, why would that happen at the exact same time? I just don't believe in coincidences because I am the Scorpio rising. So we are terribly paranoid people. So we just want to know. And I wanted to know what your thoughts were because, I don't have the best brain around.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I want to get the brain involved to see if I'm actually crazy, or if I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Like I said, Scorpio risings, we're very suspicious of pretty much everything.
Right. You guys are intuitive, right? Yeah.
Right, but we don't want to be walking around talking about, hey, the world's going to end in 3 days. Even if it did, like, we just sound nuts. Like, we like, get that guy a straitjacket. You know what I mean? Like, it never comes out.
I am of the belief that I don't discount anything. So it logically, if things aren't going the way I'm trying to find a word for them, like the higher ups, right? There's a system that they want to keep in place, and that will not happen if we have all of these people awakening, because it takes people to make their vision, be alive. So the less people they have, which is those people that are still asleep, still plugged into the matrix, the less people they have, they're losing the control. So I absolutely 100% believe that chaos is caused to cause order for them. So chaos in their eyes is putting us back on that lower frequency. So I think that is another thing that this is why, again, I'm always spinning things back to your personal alchemy, because when you understand these things, when you understand yourself, you feel those vibrations, you feel those things happening, and you're going to question it. You're going to, you're going to be like, well, what is that? Why does this feel like this? Why is the prices so high right now and we have this happening simultaneously? So yeah, I 100% believe that there are things put into place to shift reality.
Yes. So I'm just having a thought right now, what you said earlier. Since you are very well about feeling vibrations, I wanted to take us back to in our conversation when you were talking about how when you would see a bully and you would, you would pray or try to do something to get, do you feel now that you understand that your personal alchemy, like that's what we would be doing, right? If we were to be aware of the wool being pulled over our eyes. Like like that was such a profound thing to say. Like, wouldn't we all then? Because it wouldn't just be one person running toward the bully now, right? It'd be the whole playground going after the one bully, right? So like, I feel like you just have so much to offer. Like, how do you feel? Like, how would you tell someone to tap into their spiritual alchemy, so the collective, I guess, could join in and understand as a whole? Because the truth is, we would be like a bunch of kids on a playground really attacking one person, because there's so few of them and there's so many of us.
That's true.
Like in numbers, we kind of got the numbers, right? But personal alchemy, I definitely would believe would do so much more. Like, wouldn't be no physical running at that point, right? It'd be more like we see something that's wrong, and then it's kind of like as a collective, we can all have the same thoughts, join the consciousness, and then make a change. Kind of like as quickly as you were expecting that prayer.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, I don't know if I said it right.
Well,
do you feel as though you have tapped into that? And like I said, what would you tell, like, how would you tell people to do that?
Well, first, yes, I believe I tapped into it. However, it's again a process, because it's always ebbs and flows, right? It's like always something happening. So it's a continuous work to maintain this level. And, every day is not going to be the higher level day, but the more that I'm flowing in it, the better, that is. But to be honest, and it's funny, I just posted a video today. And it's gonna sound funny, but before you can get to that place of taking the practical steps to understanding your personal alchemy, just tapping into your magic by tapping into your frequencies, by tapping into that inner child. So the video I posted today was sharing 3 tips to tap into your magic, because in order for you to be empathetic, be sensitive to those frequencies, you have to be able to be sensitive. You have to be able to be empathetic, because we've built up so many walls over time to be strong, to protect ourselves, because we had to come against all these things in religion and, the traumas through that. So now we have to make sure that we are equipped and that we can tap into our energy by first understanding, like, you can still go and like play on a playground, watch a Disney movie, tap into that inner child. Right. Next, I express the importance of being like delusional, right? Dressing up and taking on that dressing like Maleficent, dressing like the fairy, fake it till you make it. Make everything that's inside, that's magical, tap into that by wearing it on the outside. So have fun, do something like that. And then the third thing was, you have to make yourself cry sometimes, because when you built up a wall, sometimes I know it was difficult for me coming out of a lot of the trauma that I came through to even cry, because I'm like, I got all these walls up. I can't even get to that emotion. So
Right.
I had to learn to tap into all of those things before I can even understand why it's important to know my personal alchemy. So I would say, in those people that are just waking up, tap into your magic. And the best way that you can do that is acknowledging that inner child that was left behind through all that trauma. Acknowledge the inner child and work through that moment in meditation and letting yourself cry and listening to that romanticized gothic music with no words, and just sit there and give yourself that moment to be vulnerable. Work through all of that. Then you can tap into your magic, and then you can understand the practical aspects of your chart or your personal alchemy. I know that was a lot to say. I'm sorry.
No, that was perfect. I wanted to know, and that's your explanation. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Okay, I'm pretty sure my viewers are tired of hearing me on here, because I got straight jacket theories, Final thoughts for everyone to tap into their personal alchemy. Do you feel as though it would be would it be more helpful for the collective? Or do you feel as though people would tap into their own alchemy for more of personal gain? Right? Like we would all be trying to be in charge, and then it's like we're all trying to fight each other because now we're all trying to be in charge. Or do you think people might be smart enough to use that as a tool to help, each other? Because, I guess with humans, it could go either way, but I wanted to know what your thoughts were.
Well, to avoid the maximum number of that happening, that's why I would say, all of what I just said, because when you become more sensitive and empathetic, it changes the way you think when you do attain this knowledge. You'll be empathetic to someone else's needs, or empathetic to even, otherwise, if you didn't tap into your emotions, that part of you, that inner child, it'd be very easy for you to do all of that. It'd be very easy for you to say, screw the world. Now I have the knowledge and understanding to do what it is I need to do for myself. So this is why it's important to make sure that you address all of those things first before acquiring the knowledge.
Well, right. So I was just saying, because it just sounds like a recipe to make a whole world full of villains, right? Like that's how like the last Marvel movie starts, and then there's no more world after that.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like all the positive alchemists are now living underground.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, is that where they are right now?
Yeah, right. That's where they had to go at once,
Listen, like I said, straight jacket over here. Okay? I have all kinds of crazy, wild ideas. I probably shouldn't touch anything sharp, right? But I wanted to say absolutely thank you for joining me on this podcast today. I really appreciate you being a guest. I love everything you had to say. I really love your energy. And it seems as though you are working really hard to make not only your voice known, but also, very passionate about people waking up, people just understanding that, that they don't have to be controlled, they don't have to be, stuck, and you have had a lot of situations where you've moved past those blockages and roadblocks, and obviously not the same as anyone else, but you're more willing to come forward with it as your authentic self. I feel that is such I'm so grateful that someone like you is coming on here to speak, I always enjoy our talks. Especially that first time we had that talk, right? We should have recorded that conversation, right? I still think about that. You know,
Right?
like when you meet someone, you're just like, oh my goodness, like I'm gonna remember the rest of my life. Like, you know, so it's kind of like, but you were absolutely a wonderful guest. I would love to have you on here for some more, focused talks. I really appreciate, like I said, just everything that you're doing. I really hope your book in the works goes very well. And
Yeah.
I really want to hear about what's happening after this full moon. Was it the new moon eclipse? New moon eclipse, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. So apparently I know it's all hush hush right now, but I will definitely get back to you after that. So again, this is Christina with Karma's Eye Psychic LLC here on Universal Spirit Podcast. And I'm talking with Aradia Arcanum. Aradia, do you have anything left to say for our listeners?
Just remember it's a process, and the magic is tap into the magic that's inside of you.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So